Thank you for the wonder plays less than 3.
He is silver. Yeah, silver 460 LP. So yeah, that's gonna be my first complaint right away. And I know what you're thinking, but Neace, I need to learn how to use, or rather, I need to have exhaust to protect my team. And I think, no, not really. You need to learn how to kill people and farm newbies and pressure the lane. That's what you need to learn. Immediately. Farm them newbies. So, you leash, you don't overleash, you get into lane. You guys thumb up each other. Rakan and Zaya buff. They buff each other. I mean, right away, I'm immediately like... fuck this. I hate this. Now, what do I hate? I get it, you're new. This guy was asking if I do multiple sessions of coaching. I don't have any plans for that shit anytime soon, but I'm just thinking to myself this whole time, like, you will immediately see results on your lane phases if you actually fight for level 2. I've been doing this. It's like being a personal trainer, like at the gym or some shit. I've been doing this now for 2 years, I think. 2 years of like replay reviews. And one thing that never changes is newbie supports not trying to fight for level 2. You know? Yeah, you need to learn your own limits and not your team's faults. That's a pretty good way to put it. So, newbie supports always do this thing where they just passively chill. Let me explain why this is such an important concept for you to get. In solo queue, when you play support, you are accepting, and honestly, I mean, I would never play Rakan in low elo, but I mean, there's been plenty of supports who play like proper supports and climb anyways. It's just not for me. But playing a proper support and not learning to be aggressive and hyper aggro and all that shit in lane phase, here's what's going to happen. Let me explain the fundamentals of this. You are going to get pushed under your tower. You are then going to be unable to trade. Whenever the minion wave is stuffed under the tower, if you ever want to do anything, if you ever want to ward, if you ever want to challenge, it's going to hinge entirely on whether or not your opponents make mistakes or your jungler comes. That is it. When the lane is pushing towards tower, the only way that you have any agency over the match is if your opponent makes a mistake while he's pushing. Or your jungler ganks. I'm here to tell you that relying on your jungler to gank and do something is a losing proposition in low elo. That is a really, really dumb proposition. Mainly because this jungler is new just like you are and has no idea what a good gank, bad gank, reasonable gank looks like. Do not get it in your head what people teach you or try to teach you on fucking Mobifire and Reddit and, you know, fucking lol king or that old shit that I used to write guides on. This is like the core problem, is that you're gonna be stuck back here and you're just gonna hope and pray, like, please God, jungle, come and bail me out. Or you're hoping that Alistar just randomly tanks the turret and dies. Always fight for fucking level 2. Never go into lane assuming that you're going to get pushed in. Never play lanes like that. I would rather you feed fighting for level 2 and learning your limits than playing passive in silver. You will never learn what a good engage looks like, and you will never learn how to actually command a game and how to control a lane. If lane's pushing to you, You can't trade because minions will attack you if you try to trade. Furthermore, your opponents have an XP lead. For all the moments that your opponents are pushing into you, they have an XP lead. So even if you are to get a good trade, there's a chance that you're a level behind and you lose it anyways. Alright? So that's why I harp on this so hard. And really, it's like the core part of this game is fighting for lane control and lane dominance right out the get-go. You cannot do that if you play back in your lane. Perfect example. Level 2s versus level 1. Obviously the trade is not amazing for the Caitlyn, but it's mainly because she didn't level up her abilities for whatever fucking reason. Now she finally did. Better player levels up E, you jump in, she E's backwards, you get chunked out, and that's all she wrote. Top lane gets a first blood. How close are we to getting anything done down in bot lane? Not really. We're just chilling, right? This is probably going to be the majority of the replay, right? We're just chilling under a tower, just waiting. What can we really do? We're playing with Zaya, who's, for all intents and purposes, pretty passive. Are there spots to really be aggressive? He's facing a Caitlyn who hasn't used E yet. I mean, this is all standard, right? You finally go to make the play. Caitlyn has a level lead. Poor Zaya gets pushed out. This is textbook why I hate playing so passive. When you watch someone like Ray, I haven't had Ray in my chat in a while. Ray plays a lot of Thresh. He like takes every lane with Ignite and just looks to level 2 cheese. Pass or fail. Every time. But this is what you just saw was you tried to make a play. Caitlyn's level 4. Minions are pushing to you. You're not going to win that trade. The only time that you can make a play like that is if they are under your tower and they aggro and you knock them up while they're under tower. Otherwise, there's no point of even doing that. You just farm up. Which brings me to my next point. Is this really how you want to play League of Legends in ranked? Do you really want to be just stuffed under your tower, just waiting for anything to come your way? Because that's how it's going to go every time. Every fucking time, guys. Whether you're this guy or you're somebody just watching the stream for fun, this is what will happen on bot lane if you play the lane passive. In low elo, am not a fan. Hate it with a passion. Is it on Rakan or is it on Zaya? It's always on the support. That may not be what you guys want to hear, but I think it's always on the support. The support fucking dumpsters bot lane. The support dumpsters bot lane. The support has everything to do with bot lane. Why do you think when I do shit like, you know, random Wukong. Remember yesterday? What was it? We did Wukong support or some shit. and I just battled for level 2, battled for trades when the minions were favorable for me. Remember that? And just, it's not, I know Wukong's not like a traditional support or anything, but it is on you to fucking go into lane, work for level 2. As soon as you spike level 2, work for a favorable trade. Take advantage of these people from bronze to gold. If they fight back, then we can talk. Then we can talk about a replay. You cannot accept this type of open. It is absolutely unacceptable in silver. And I know I'm harping, I know I'm beating a dead horse with this talk, but it's super important, man. I wish people could understand. It's like, it determines the entire game for you. And right here, it's like your jungle goes to gank. Jungle goes to do his thing. And again, does not know what a good gank looks like, has no idea how to follow it up. You're not running Ignite. You weren't really trading at all smartly because you were stuffed under your tower. What the fuck? You know, how are we gonna pause? We're not gonna win lane this way. So, let's say you are watching this and you say, you know what, fuck you, Neace. You don't know what you're talking about. I want to play passive under my tower and scale up. I don't want to play that way. Okay, fine. But you can't be poked down. You cannot just randomly get poked out. You cannot. But the problem is with that strategy is that you're also relying on your AD carry to play passive with you and just chill and farm up. Again, I think it's flippy. I don't think it's as reliable. Newbies and like bronze to gold, they pretty much fall when you put pressure on them. They collapse when you put pressure on them. Having lanes pushed under tower and then throwing poke down, that's pressure. That's pressure that's almost impossible to avoid unless you're a very, very good player. So I think right here, this is the first 5 minutes pretty much dictates the whole flow of the game. It's all standard shit to me. I think that the best use of your time is while you are in low elo, one of the common mistakes that I see players make is that they don't have a plan. So you want to play passive and like wait until you have this gold mine engage or whatever you're looking for. But the reality is that's not how League works. You push in, you trade aggressively when you have the level lead, you trade aggressively when you have the minion lead, and then you wait for your opponents to try to overplay in spots that they shouldn't because you have minion leads, because you have XP leads. Very similar to what our Rakan did right here. Alistar and Caitlyn, they're ahead in XP. Rakan tries to engage while Caitlyn's got a level lead. Obviously, he's not going to be able to burst Caitlyn down over minions, and there it is, right there. Rakan just tried to do something when the minion wave was pulling to him, and as a result, you know, he gets fucked. Now, if he had let the minions crash under tower, let the wave thin out a little bit, and just as the wave's getting, like, really small, then try to make it engage, then we're talking. But unfortunately, most players don't have that. Most players just kind of get pushed in, harassed under tower, get low, try to make a bad engage, and then fuck up. Jungle comes bottom, tries to gank, it's a Caitlyn lane, can't finish it. There you go, GG. Game's pretty much over. Now you're getting raped under tower all game, and you're coin flipping. Executed. Jesus. Twin Shadows? What's Twin Shadow? I don't even know what that is. Yes, if you want to play passive, here's what you do. If we back up, and honestly, I should be focusing on the lane for most of this because your lane phase is atrocious. It's unacceptable. Oh, Spooky Ghosts? Got it. I forgot that's what it was called. Twin Shadows. So for me, I would be up on the minions, autoing the fuck out of them, trying to bait Caitlyn into autoing me, and then backing up and trying to basically just trying to get the push going and not lose the race to level 2 is what I'd be looking for. But let's say that your opponents are competent and they stop you from doing that. See, like right here, trades like these are garbage. You shouldn't be going in like this. This is a level 1 trade into minions pushing forward. If you want to be making plays like this, you better be fighting at level 1 for minion control, right? So here you guys are chilling. You're poking, which this all looks fine to me. Minion wave pushing in. Caitlyn's doing the thing where she pushes lane. There's no trade there. Alistar's right on top of the Caitlyn. Nothing you can do about that. She keeps pushing the lane. Still no trade that I can see. I see good poke opportunities, but without the lane pushing, there's no real trade. Alistar knocks you away. Lane's pushing. Still no trade. No, there's no play here that I see. Here, you go in as soon as Alistar spaces away, but again, Caitlyn's level 4 with minions, so still no trade. This, you shouldn't be doing this. Period. You're just baiting your poor ADC into a bad fight. Should just be chilling. That's not a good trade. Also, you should let the minions come to the tower so that you can actually bait them into being in a position where you can actually engage. None of this made sense to me. This was passivity, random all in because Alistar snuck away, and you don't have Ignite, so you're not even really going to burst that guy down like ever anyways. You just waste all your summoners, and you bait your ADC into a bad fight. Gank comes. Now, imagine if you had just waited a second for the gank to come down. You understand? Imagine instead of doing the derpy engage, you just chilled, waited for the Lee Sin. Lee Sin was pathing down low, you ping it, you go and engage. Very similar to what a Bard does. Passive Bard just waits, throws a tunnel down. I mean, I did it all the time in the Bard climb. Just throw a tunnel down and then go all in. But you save your flash and ignite for the 3v2. This is not... You can play passive if you plan to play passive. You can't play passive as a default. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that also as a rule of thumb, it's negative EV to just be like going into lanes being like, I think they're better than me. I think they're just as good as I am. I don't think it teaches you anything. If you really want to learn this game, you've got to push for level 2, make aggressive plays, fuck up, but know in the back of your mind, know that you're making aggressive plays for certain reasons, i.e. level leads, sums are up, ults are up. You need to not default into playing reactionary, like just doing things based on what your opponents do. You need to pilot the ship in low elo. So yeah, if you, let's say you go into the game and your AD carry's lost his last 8 games or something, or your AD carry doesn't push the wave at all with you, level 1, then you say, alright, I guess I have to play passive. That's what you do. I've done it on stream before. I've been like, I really want to make a move, but I'm fucking stuck here. I can't make a play. But the bigger issue is you will never know what a good... Oh my god, Lee Sin. You will never know what a good engage looks like and a bad engage looks like from... Like, even if you're playing passive, you won't know what a mistake looks like unless you yourself have made them. Right? Perfect example. So we're doing the TF climb right now, right? So I look at my TF gameplay and I compare it to Dopa. Well, Dopa's Korea mid... superstar, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm a pretty smart player, but this dude's dying a lot less than me. He's dying way fucking less than me, right? I've played aggressive. Now I'm dialing it back and trying to be smarter. You cannot know what bad and good looks like unless you are making those mistakes. unless unless you're taking those risks that turn out to be mistakes. And you can't identify when's a good time to go in, a bad time to go in, unless you yourself have been a part of, making the plays. That's the dark reality of coaching. I can coach all day until I am blue in the face. I can tell you every single situation is good or bad for whatever reason. But until you yourself play this game and make those mistakes for yourself, you're never going to know. And you're going to have to grind regardless of what I preach up here on stream. You're going to have to play games. The idea is I save you time. The idea is hopefully our hero here, Latency, goes into his games and decides, I'm going to push for level 2 and I'm going to make an aggressive trade and I'm going to fucking battle. Yeah, that Alistar actually got executed because he's a god, dude. He's a legend. League of Legends, after all. That's what this game is. You convince yourself to start playing ranked? I mean, yeah. You want to know what it is? It's like, I think the cold reality of this game is that making mistakes is just punished so hard in League of Legends that people try their best. Not just punished by, the result being, it's the basketball analogy, right? Like if you play basketball and then you go to shoot a shot and then some huge motherfucker goes, "Get that shit out of my house," and slaps that shit into the stands, and then everybody laughs at you, and then you feel like you have a tiny pecker. It'd be like that, except you get swatted, the ball flies out of bounds, the guy goes, "Get that shit out of my house," everyone's laughing at you, you feel like you have a tiny pecker, and that dude grew a foot taller because of making that play. He literally grows a foot taller. That's what the punishment is for League of Legends. That's the equivalent punishment. You go to make a play, you fuck up, some dude goes, "Get that shit out of my house." Now your opponents are stronger than they were. And then not only that, your teammates are going to flame you. Probably your opponents are going to flame you, right? And you're not going to feel very good. And then as a person, you look at the situation and you go, "Fuck, that didn't feel that great. I don't want to make that mistake again." But guess what? You have to live and absorb that mistake. It has never been a harder time to get good at League of Legends, and that's the fucking truth. I played this game in Season 3. People were way worse than they are now. The game was not balanced as it is now, and there was a lot of creativity in your playstyles. Now you have to learn the mechanics and all that shit. That's what I'm here for. But, again, all the coaching in the world cannot prepare you for the reality that you're going to get your fucking pee-pee slapped. And you're going to have to accept that that's a part of the learning process. You're going to have to make a play, you're going to have to make a mistake, and you're going to have to get flamed for doing so. No one likes a passive person that sits back in the lane, sits back in the jungle, never takes initiative, never leads the charge. You have to be that person to do that. Otherwise, this is a perfect example. Our hero here is just passively getting pushed in for 10 minutes. He hasn't really, to my knowledge, I have not seen any opportunities outside of the level 1 to do anything. And, it's kind of Zaya. It's kind of Caitlyn. Caitlyn's a tough lane for AD carries to get to navigate. You kind of have to just plug your nose and go in on her sometimes if she's pushing under tower. So, which would you rather be? Would you rather be the guy that sits under your tower and gets bullied and waits for your opponents to make mistakes? Or would you rather be the person that pushes for level 2, pushes for lane control, makes the mistakes, gets your pee-pee slapped, but every time you get your pee-pee slapped, yeah, it's going to hurt temporarily, but you will be a better player long term. You'll make those mistakes less, and you'll have better understanding of what's a good fight, what's a bad fight, and why. You know what I mean? I don't know why you don't lead with your W here. W should have been how you led this. If you wanted to do it. There's no need to lead with your ult first. Lead with your W, get the knock up, then do your ult if you hit the W. And you would have had an okay play there. Because there you were under tower, and you could have actually drawn a decent fight. It was an okay attempt. She just kind of got punked there. So, I'll fast forward a little bit longer. But the whole no ignite, passive level 1. Not a big fan of it. Let's talk about your max, your skill max. So in general, I'm gonna look at, can I load this up latency? You would have probably won that fight there if you had stopwatch, which is what you should have. How long ago was this game? Hold on. Silver 4 Rakan. Well, I can't find the actual game in this dude's match history. Look at this. You need to take stopwatch though. 100%. As opposed to whatever this shit is. Stopwatch is too juicy, especially in situations like that where you just got dove. Stopwatch would have clutched it for you. Tryndamere buffs are live? What do you mean live? Is there like a patch notes? Oh, it is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you never, I agree. I never take exhaust and low elo for supports ever. It's a terrible way to learn this game. There's gonna be too many games where your teammates suck and you didn't get to learn anything. And that's a shit position. That's a shitty learning. Like, a lot of my coaching too kind of hinges on the idea that like, you're better off making the mistake than just sitting here waiting for good things to happen. So same thing I told you before, just lead with your W. Give her a chance, like, no one reacts that well to Rakan W. Just lead with W so you don't have to flash. Let's look at the map. Dragon's fine because you know where the mid is. What a joke. Yeah, Pixie Lady, do you feel the love? Do you feel the love in Twitch chat right now? You're gonna feel it whether you want to or not. Even if it's rapey and weird. Thanks, Attic. Okay, so notice here how you decide to go into this fight. Wait for your ult before you do it, and then it'll look a lot cleaner. You want to target Ahri, that's what you want. But then you try to go in with your ult after everything's all said and done. Level 9 versus level 7, you don't want to extend that fight. And yeah. You want to try to target Ahri. If you can get Ahri down, you might have something here. But again, you're just super behind in this spot. I think if you want to be coached again, my friend, that's fine. I think right now you played this about as typical as I would expect someone in silver. And again, I'm not saying this to flame you. I don't want you to play passive. I want you to fail on this stream. I want to see you trying to make plays. I want to see confidence. If you have to play Rakan every fucking game for every time you log into League of Legends in order to learn how to engage and how to do your combos right, like, you should be leading with W most of the time. You shouldn't be trying to, like, walk in with your ult like a good, just fucking snap the W. If you hit the if you hit the knock up, then follow it up with the ult and chain the CC together. But I don't want to see another lane where you just sit back with exhaust, wait for the game to come to you, don't fight for a level lead, and then just play turtley under your tower. It's not going to work. You won't get better. If your goal is to get better, you're going to have to fail your engages, and you're going to have to try to win the lanes. It's okay if you try to win the lanes and fail, because most of the time, if you're pushing forward and trying to make aggressive things happen, in most cases, you're going to find good situations. And even if you make a mistake, you can come right back into lane after dying, and then you can farm it up and do your shit. Play passive if you don't want to feed. That's fine. But every game should be an attempt to win. With Ignite to win. As for your itemization, let me see. I don't think anybody runs Mobies anymore, to be honest. My understanding of this shit now is you basically finish up the support item, you trick that out, then you go Lucidity, and then you can go Ardent or Redemption or whatever the team calls for. But don't worry so much about itemization right now. I mean, obviously, you know, upgrade the support item, get the Sightstone going, get the boots or whatever. Focus more so on clean level 2 all-ins, and by clean level 2 all-ins, as soon as you spike level 2, control, level up, go in, challenge, trade, figure out how the game works. And as you're making those trades, think, what is my opponent gonna do when I do this? He's probably gonna flash, probably gonna ignite, and that's how you start building your mechanics up so you can actually win a lane. League of Legends is not about passively losing lane in low elo. It's not. It's about playing for that early advantage and then going from there. Alright, I'm sorry I don't have more feedback for you here, but until you're doing more aggro shit, I can't really give you much to work with. Okay? Or you're just going to be a liability for your teammates, and you're just going to be waiting for the game to come to you. Alright? Cool. YouTube, what up? This goes on the channel. I appreciate ya. Like, subscribe, etc. if you want more coaching. Alright? I'll see you for the next one. And I'm out. Peace. Cracks. Thank you. Okay.